SMT Nation, we back. Nation, we've been following this story for a while. Dish potentially facing bankruptcy. It's speculation at this point, but that speculation is warranted. Let's talk about it here in today's video. If you appreciate the content here on the channel, please do like and share this video. And of course, if you want to support us directly, you can. Ways to do that down in the description. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to never miss an upload from the SMT. All things wireless on this channel, buddy. All right, what's behind the speculation about a Dish bankruptcy? This is an old story that goes back in February, and the speculation of a Dish bankruptcy is warranted. It has credence. Let's check the facts. All right, so first of all, T-Mobile is supposed to sell the 800 megahertz spectrum from the Sprint transaction of the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. Dish is supposed to buy it. Dish had a certain amount of time in order to pay for it. They weren't able to make that deadline. Initially, that deadline was in June of 2023. That date came and passed. There was a negotiation between T-Mobile, Dish, and the DOJ. It gave Dish an extension until I want to say it was like 10 months from the June date. So that pushes it into like the April territory of this year. And it doesn't look like Dish is able to have the funding to purchase the spectrum. So the first bit of today's news has to do with that piece. Dish has no intention of being able to pay it after Dish had to take $100 million to pay for the extension. I think the transaction for the spectrum is valued over $3 billion. They don't have it. So they can't meet the deadline. They don't want to purchase it. That puts T-Mobile in a precarious situation. That was the intention. That was the plan. So now what will T-Mobile do? Well, T-Mobile's options are to keep it, I guess. And what I think is more likely is they're going to be looking to sell it, auction it off to the highest bidder. What I think might be happening, maybe Dish is trying to get a discount because they might be the only company that's interested in a 5 to 13 megahertz, market by market allowance of spectrum in the low band, 800 megahertz, right? It's in my opinion, we're in a phase of mid-band building. Low band it's just not, it's not the move for most of the pops covered here in the US. So I'm not sure how valuable it is. I'm not sure what it's worth to companies. I don't know. I don't know what its use case is. I kind of thought, well, what could T-Mobile do with it? Maybe they could use that spectrum in satellite communications, for calling or texting or whatever. I mean, the data support with it is just so limited. They already have 600 megahertz, with N71 and stuff like that. I just don't know. I think the auctioning of it seems more likely. I just don't know what people are willing to pay. So I think it might be Dish jockeying for position to maybe pay half the cost by going to auction and then being the highest bidder. Maybe AT&T not interested, maybe Verizon not interested, holdings companies maybe not interested at this time, allocating their spending in dollars to something else and assets. I don't know. So, you can comment down below what you think T-Mobile should do with it, what you think is going to be the outcome, what Dish is doing here. I just know that they don't have the money. They're finding the raising of capital very challenging and difficult. So, I don't know. According to an SEC filing from Dish, this is the quote. Due to the relatively short time remaining before the 800 megahertz purchase options expiration date of April 1st, 2024, we no longer believe it is a probability that we will exercise the option. Therefore, we reduce the probability weighted value of the spectrum option to 0. There is 0 chance that they will purchase the 800 megahertz spectrum licenses from Sprint, from T-Mobile, by that date. That means, who knows, right? The 800 megahertz, we'll have to wait and see what happens. What is T-Mobile going to do with it? Do they want to keep it? Do they want to auction it? I don't know. All I know is that Dish has been hemorrhaging customers. They lost an additional 123,000 Boost Mobile customers in Q4 of 2023. That is an acceleration year over year when they only lost 25,000 in the previous years. They are now officially under 7.4 million Boost Mobile subs. At one point, I think they had over 9 million subs. I think when Dish acquired Boost Mobile, they're losing a lot of customers. And Boost Infinite isn't growing. They're not catching traction. The postpaid business looks atrocious. Their leaders are playing carousel, musical chairs, and they're just gone in under calendar years. It is just insane what we have seen happen between their systems getting hacked and a cyber attack or whatever. We have seen them completely drop the ball in how they are handling business with their customers. We've seen devastation to the dealer channel. I mean, the list goes on and on. The fact that they've been able to build a semblance of a network is an absolute miracle. But man, there's just a lot of bad here. All of this is why there is speculation about a Dish bankruptcy. It is screaming bankruptcy. And I will bet you that analysts, the companies, the carriers, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile are chomping at the bits to take the bits and pieces that are left of the spectrum from Dish. That is their most valuable asset, their network and the network elements. But that's really it. So they're probably starting to make a contingency plan on if and when Dish becomes available for purchase in its parts. I will kind of make sure I add this at the end. The Department of Justice has a vested interest in seeing Dish survive. Does that mean that the DOJ intervenes? Does it mean that the DOJ is going to provide bailouts for Dish, extensions, financial supports, reducing, the culpability of Dish as a survivor? Do they put more pressure and onus on T-Mobile to permit and support them as a fourth carrier? Those things are out there. And again, I say this all the time. This is not a political channel, but you can't ignore and avoid the elephant in the room. The DOJ fought through the entire merger process for Dish to have concessions, to have network access and roaming agreements, and then Dish further solidified cheaper rates through AT&T in all likelihood. A lot of these things that have been ongoing, you have to look at probabilities and likelihoods to what's going to happen. The way that EchoStar is trading, the way that the debt is carrying, things ain't looking too hot right now for Dish. But comment and let me know what you guys think about all these developments. Any elements, from the T-Mobile side to the Dish Wireless side, Boost Mobile, Boost Infinite, the assets, it's all really dynamic and changing all the time with respect to news. So keep it locked, keep it tuned, and comment down below and tell me what you guys think about all this. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.